Hello there, friends. Just a quick warning. This podcast will have swear words in it, and a lot, apparently. Welcome to Mental Chillness Club, a mental health podcast and a Popcorn Paw production. I am Candace, your Mental Chillness Club host, and it's time to get chit-chatty. Oh my gosh, we are doing it. We are podcasting. Hello, Mum, and hello to everyone who has tuned in for the very first episode of the Mental Chillness Club. I am so stoked to have this episode out here. You wouldn't believe how much I have procrastinated getting this first episode live due to perfectionism, which is the topic for this first episode. But before we get into the juicy bits, I just wanted to give you a little introduction as to what the Mental Chillness Club is and who the hell am I to be talking about such things as mental health. The Mental Chillness Club really is a place for us to kind of laugh and fumble our way through our mental health journeys. Mental health is a serious subject, but man, I just look at it with a light heart because you have to. I mean, there are days if you don't laugh, you're going to cry, right? So we may as opt for the laughing. We will go through hot topics of mental health, like, for example, perfectionism, and we'll be deconstructing fun stuff from the World Wide Web to get a better grasp on what the fuck is happening to us. So who the hell am I? Well, I'm just an average old Joe fumbling my own way through my journey, and I have a lot of fruity life experiences to bring to the table. At around the age of 27, which I think most of us kind of go through some type of life transformation at 27, I decided to take a year-long sabbatical living in the bush to get to my roots. And in this time, I actually discovered a lot about myself. And I tell you, it was so liberating to find the things that were happening to me actually have titles and descriptions in the medical journal. So 5 years on, I've decided to wrap up all of my life experiences so far. We're still on a journey, by the way. I don't think it ends. Into this neat little podcast for hopefully someone to get something out of. And to just babble, to be honest, because as my mum used to say, I could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into the juicy bits. Number one, let's chat about what perfectionism is. Hot damn, it's going to become increasingly evident how much I love a numbered list. Anyway. Number two, we're going to shit sandwich all the pros and cons of having perfectionism. Number three, we're going to self-diagnose. Why not? We all do it. By the way, do not use this as therapy, maybe an appendage to your therapy, but this isn't therapy. This is just a good old chit-chat. And then number four, we're going to go through an aha moment. Actually, this aha moment is thebomb.com, so yep, you've got a lot to look forward to. On that note, devils, let us begin. So after consulting the Google, I can now articulate perfectly. Oh shit, you can find some paradoxes in my words already, but I can articulate what a perfectionist is. A perfectionist is someone who has a personality that strives for flawlessness. This is often accomplished through fixating on imperfections, trying to control situations, working hard, or being critical of the self or others. So where perfectionism comes from is so complex. This can come from childhood traumas. A study suggests that perhaps it could come from genetics. I know that my family are certainly perfectionists. It can also come as a symptom of other complex mental disorders. So this is kind of where my knowledge stops at the complex mental disorders. But what I do know is that I definitely suffer from it, which takes us to the open shit sandwich. So let's talk about all the shitty things that come from perfectionism. So the shitty things, it stops you from being able to achieve your goals, right? So you don't get your tasks done. You don't get your projects finished. I have an issue with this a lot of the time with, not putting things out there because I don't feel like they're good enough. Which unfortunately means you don't get to bask in that glorious victory ever. You know, this glorious victory that people talk about when they get something done and they feel so good, so impressed with themselves. I feel like I never get that. I might pop something out into the world and I'll still think about that piece and I'll think it's just not good enough. I'm not proud of it. And I hate that. Damn it, do I hate that? I want to be proud of all the shit that I do. So this is something that I have personally been working on is, launching something, even if it's not perfect. For example, there will be mistakes in this podcast. You heard a great paradox in my word earlier. Yeah, so that I can feel that sense of accomplishment, sense of pride. So you always feel like your work's not good enough. You may feel like your work's being judged. You may think that other people's work is better, and you can't bear to revisit or observe your work once it's out there because you'll feel cringe. You'll feel that sense of cringe, right? If you're listening to something or if you're rereading something or looking at a piece of design work that is printed up on a wall, which is my job, by the way. I'm a designer, so perfectionism can come in handy, but sometimes it can be a hindrance. On that note, I wanted to bring up 2 examples of times people have fucked up, which is actually slightly hilarious, but they're fucked up. And one of these people happened to have been in a rather lofty job. So first one, Donald Trump. He once referred to 9/11 as 7/11 in one of his speeches, and he was the president. I mean, that's not perfectionism, that's a royal fuck up. By the way, I couldn't find any evidence of this after watching it for the first time during his term, but now it is up on the Google, so Google that. And the next one is the Australian $50 bill. The $50 bill was printed with a spelling mistake on it. And it was printed 56 million times. There are 56 million copies of this $50 note in circulation with the word responsibility printed incorrectly. Man, as a designer, I'm thinking about that design team. Oh, I once printed a mistake for a gym. They were signs that were printed on the outside of the gym, and it had a spelling mistake in it, and I died. Thankfully, the printing company came along and fixed it for free. It was my mistake, by the way. They didn't have to do that, but they did it. But imagine 56 million copies of your mistake circulating around Australia as the $50 bill. Whew, that's hefty. But the grand old point in all of this is that we all fuck up. And just be grateful you didn't print the wrong word on the $50 bill, which got printed millions of times. All right, so they're the shitty things. They're the shitty things about perfectionism. Let's go into the good things, because you got to end with a good note, right? That's the whole point of the shit sandwich, which reminds me of that time Gordon Ramsay stuck 2 slices of bread on a woman's head and called her an idiot sandwich. Pretty funny. Anyway, all the fabulous things about perfectionism. So your quality of work, for the most part, will be fabulous. That's true. I really strive for that fabulousness, even though I'm not happy with it once it's out. It generally is looking pretty good. Your attention to detail might be on point. Your motivation is increased because you're so motivated to get this piece out looking fab. And my personal favorite from environmentalconsciousness.com is that you're an idol for other people. I don't know if I'm an idol, man. I am so finicky over my work. But there you go. Environmentalconsciousness.com said it, so it must be true. And finally, you've got increased perseverance. So you persevere until that piece is out. And when I talk about pieces, I always relate it for myself as a designer to design pieces, but it could be anything. It could be the jams you're making at home. It could be a book you're writing. It could be a podcast, for God's sake. It could be anything. But yeah, there you go. That was the shit sandwich. So now that we've covered the shitty bits and the good bits of perfectionism, let's go into a little bit of self-diagnosis. Oh my gosh, by the way, I don't condone self-diagnosis for big problems. If you're feeling sick, get your ass to the doctor. But for this is fun. Unless it's really fucking up your life, then obviously go see a doctor too. Okay, we're consulting anxietycanada.com for our quiz. We've got 4 questions. Go get your pens, go get your papers. You're going to be answering, I'm going to be answering, and then we'll know the answers to all of our life problems. Okay, question 1. Do you have trouble meeting your own standards? Well, I will tell you. So I love investigative journalism podcasts, right? I love them. I love Serial. I love Trojan Horse. I love Accused. Oh, I love them. They're fabulous. I love journalists who get stuck in by a podcast. But listening to those, I expected that I would produce this, to the same quality and with the same perfect story arc and so on and so forth. But to be fair, it's just not so. I can't be reaching those sorts of standards as a little girl in a box with a pop filter, which is sticky taped to the wall. I can't. So setting that standard for myself to begin with was extreme, and that's something I really had to relinquish, that I'm not going to meet that standard straight away. But I will try to ascertain that type of standard, but you know what? I'm not right now. So the answer to the first question, do I have trouble meeting my own standards, is a yes from me. Number 2, do I often feel frustrated, depressed, anxious, or angry while trying to meet my standards? I would say frustrated. I wouldn't say depressed or anxious for myself. Maybe sometimes angry, but definitely frustrated. It's frustrating going again and again and again at something, trying to reach a standard. So yeah, that's a yes from me. Number 3, have I been told that my standards are too high? Oh, hell yes. Do you know, and in addition to being told my standards are too high, I get told that I should go easy on myself, that I should relax. I get reminded of all the amazing things that I achieve by my partner, who is a legend, by the way. If you're listening, you're a legend. So yes, that's a yes from me. And finally, number 4, do my standards get in my own way? For example, do they make it difficult for me to meet deadlines, finish tasks, trust others, or do anything spontaneously? Spontaneously, no. I'm spontaneous as fuck. But reaching deadlines or finishing tasks, oh, hell yes. The amount of projects that I have half completed because they haven't started perfect enough is outrageous. So there were your 4 questions. I hope you found those as enlightening as I did. But okay, so we answered yes to all 4 of those. I don't know if you did. I did. We are now internet certified perfectionists. What the fuck are we going to do about it? Now we get to the awesome bit, and this is my aha moment. I figured this one out on my own, and it makes me feel so damn good every time I think about it or every time I've actually listened to my recording of this. So here is your aha moment, and hopefully it affects you just as much as it affects me when it comes to dealing with your perfectionism. Wait, disclaimer, I didn't figure out the mathematics on my own because everyone knows I'm shitty at math. Now you do too. But I did figure out how to apply the life lesson in this. All right, here goes. The probability of you at all existing comes down to 400 trillion to 1. The chances of you sitting there listening to this, being alive in your little meat sack, are 400 trillion to 1. So that being said, stop trying to fucking do it perfect and let's achieve whatever the fuck it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime before you die and your life flashes before your eyes to that one time you didn't achieve that goal because you didn't think it was good enough. All right, that's it. That's the end. I'll see you next week. If you're loving our weekly chit-chat, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so we can get this podcast pumping. Also, make sure to check out my website at mentalchillness.club and follow me on the gram for some mental chillness eye candy.